just the tune.
Traveler, Paimon, please let me be your partner for the fight. I'd like your assistance with this investigation, since you two are the...
That's fine with Paimon. What do you think, Traveler?
I have a few theories, but we don't have enough leads yet. There are some places I'd like to investigate first.
Sure. Where would you like to...
I want to go back to where we first met up. According to your accounts, I believe there may still be some clues.
Do we really have to...
Are you worried that she'll be waiting for us? If anything, that would make my worry is that we won't be able to find her.
Wow, Hazel.
The more cases you see, the less of... This should be approximately where you first encountered the ghost. Of course, we cannot conclude whether the woman is... But I'd like to go over everything that happened again.
Let Paimon think. She warned us not to go near her, and she said if we did... Paimon doesn't want to remember that moment.
And then what happened?
Then, everything seemed to get darker. Paimon saw some sort of black mist surrounding the ghost, and then...
Based on your account...
Exactly! So are you convinced...
It's possible, but I'm more interested in what she's... Even if she is a ghost, as long as she possesses some sense of reason.
Wasn't she after our souls? She said...
I think she was just trying to scare you.
Oh...
Think about it. If I had the ability to take your souls... Besides, a ghost wouldn't have allowed you to walk away.
That does make sense.
I believe there are only two possibilities. The first is that she wanted to reap your souls, but if you had really been cursed, then you would probably have noticed it by now. So, this is the less likely scenario. I believe she was just trying to
But why would she want to scare us away? Maybe she was trying to get us to quit so she could claim the Test of Courage prizes. Oh! Probably not. So why does she want to scare us? Do you have any idea?
Based solely on your account, I don't believe she actually meant it. But this evidence alone is insufficient to make any valid assumptions. She could very well... Though, my intuition is telling me that neither of these hypotheses are... Have you found any leads yet?
Yeah, some tree branches seem like they were bent by something.
I see. After you left, aside from the bent branches, there are burn marks and... If only there was some more conclusive evidence.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's you guys! We heard you were out searching for clues. Oh, that's real.
Actually, we just asked the members of Mr. Ito's gang about what happened to them. That lady is either a nasty evil spirit or a formidable yokai. Either way, but we still want to hold the Mikawa.
We long admired the friendship, which is why we want to hold the Mikawa Flower Festival. Even though our powers are limited, we don't want this bond of friendship to vanish.
The Chinju Forest covers a large area, so welcome to the team. Let's all do our best to figure out what's...
Don't worry, we're very familiar with the area. We won't miss... What is it?
Is it a scrap of black cloth?
This is a piece.
Shade cloth?
Yeah, it can effectively block out light and is used in a variety of settings. There's a rough tear in the cloth, probably caused.
Branches.
Suppose that a large shade cloth was originally hung from a tree, bending. When the shade cloth was removed from the tree, perhaps one of the. Either she didn't care, or she was in too great a hurry.
But why would she hang shade cloth in the tree?
I'm only speculating, but maybe she used it to create the atmosphere you experienced. Let's not worry about that for now. There's still many Next, I'd like to investigate the place where the Arataki gang and.
Oh, I know the way. I asked the gang members where their encounter with the ghost happened when we were
Good. Please lead the way. Let's go find out what's going on.
This is the place. They claimed that as they passed through here, the area suddenly grew dark.
Huh. We saw the very same thing.
Let's start by taking a look around the area, just as we did before.
I found some sort of smashed ball under the The inside of it looks like it was blackened by smoke. There's some strange powder in the cracks of... I picked some up and sniffed it to see what it is.
Judging from the burn marks left on the scene, the ghostly flames you saw, rather, they appear to have been caused by...
Similar scare tactics. And I believe we're closing in on the truth. I'm almost certain that the woman you encountered, she possesses no extraordinary powers. She was merely scary.
Some small props? But
First and foremost, the test of courage contributed. You were initially frightened by your first encounter with these three. Because you were already tensed up, you were breathing more rapidly and inhaled a lot of sleeping powder that she had sprinkled. That's when she pulled down the shade cloth and lit those so-called ghostly flames, creating a terrifying scene.
so it was all just... she tricked us!
There is, however, still one loose end. The person who commissioned my investigation did become... That couldn't have been accomplished by just a few small props. She can only use props to scare people in the forest, but she...
Whoa, that was fast!
If we rule out the potential of organized crime, then I know who the woman is. Let's go to the beach.
We'll come along too.
No, you should go back and tell the others not to be afraid, and not... The truth has surfaced. It's time to put an end to all the unnecessary...
Okay, but if you run into any danger, simply call...
There shouldn't be any danger now, but thank you and... Let's search along the cliffside. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a chunk of earth that's unlike the others.
I knew it. I knew that you would come find me here.
There she is. Paimon thought you were a yokai like the others, but they said they never seen you before. So, who are you? And why did you try to...
I have already warned you never to speak to me. If you don't leave now, then...
She's terrifying! Hazel, it sure doesn't seem like she's using any props this time!
Don't move. Just trust me. Your yokai power won't scare us. It'll only...
Yokai power?
Huh? How did you know?
You're a yokai that emerged from an object and assumed a human form outside of your own body. When this type of yokai is close to its own body, it can use some yokai power. But that ability and if the original body is destroyed, then the yokai that Should I refer to you as a Hagoita spirit or Tsukumogami?
Don't bother. You may call me...
Chizuru, why do you want... If you're a yokai, you should Besides, we had a great time playing Akitsu Yugen together, didn't we? Just like the story of Kamai and the samurai.
Yes. That's why. That's why I don't want you to be sad.
Sad? What do you mean?
I'm sure the yokai have already told you of the story about Kamai but they don't actually know the entire story. The samurai was about 25 years old when they met at the festival. They met again 10 years later and remained friends. They spent time together drinking, traveling, and sparring. When they had first met, they merely respected each other, but 10 years later, they became best friends. After another decade, the samurai had reached the pinnacle of his swordsmanship and won their duel by a narrow margin. Kamai was so astonished by his defeat, he gave up drinking and began training to become stronger for their next duel. However, another 10 years later, Kamai did not meet the samurai. As it turned out, war had broken out in the south, and the samurai had gone to defend the border. Kamai was unconcerned, because 10 years was nothing in a yokai's lifetime. But when they met once again, Kamai discovered that the samurai was already 65 years old. He couldn't believe his eyes when he saw the samurai's gray hair and scars covering his body.
Hey, old friend. Can you still wield the sword?
I'm getting too old to fight. This time, I've come to say goodbye.
I see. Then, how about one last game of Akitsu Hazara?
All right.
The samurai gave his best effort during the game, but had to quit halfway through because he was too weak. After putting down his Agoita, Kamai remained silent for a long time before letting out a long sigh.
What a shame.
Their friendship started as something they looked forward to. Lord Kamai's appearance hadn't changed, but his dear friend people often say that those outside the situation can see things more clearly. And we yokai are different from humans. We have longer lifespans and different natures. When the dream ends, all that is left are sorrow. Even a wise and seasoned yokai like Kamai felt sadness when it was time to say goodbye.
Oh.
So, you mean...
I was hiding on this beach, but those 3 yokai came. I didn't want them to approach humans with unbridled optimism and
Is that why you pretended to be a ghost? Oh. So you must be the one who trapped that guy on the beach.
My power has become pretty weak now, and most of the time I just use some props I've collected. But that jerk was greedy. He wanted to steal the decorations from a Kits. That's why I used my yokai power.
Ah, so that's what... By the way, how did you know the rest...
It's okay if you don't want to tell us. I've already... Your true form is this pair of Hagoita, isn't it?
Hagoita?
The pair of Hagoita used by Kamai and the human samurai. You gradually developed sentience after being influenced by great yokai power. You were the closest to witness even with the yokai power's blessing. The Hagoita have started to rot away after hundreds of years. You can't sustain yourself, so you were forced to rely on... And if my theory is correct...
Excellent work. You figured it all out. Congratulations, little ones. You've passed the 3rd round of the test of
Miko? And...
I apologize for causing you
Because fear is induced by uncertainty, the more chaotic the situation, the better. Having the event staff also mysteriously vanish only...
So you're the one responsible for all the scare...
Hitomi, go tell the others that the test of courage has ended and that...
Now that I've solved the mystery, I'm going back to meet with my client. The intent to steal is not... I'll see you two later.
Miko? Did you choose the Hagoita for the 3rd round of...
Miko, Lady Yae.
I followed Kitsune Saigu around the Mikawa Flower Festival one year. That was when I saw you. You didn't have a human form at the time.
I remember now. You were on Kitsune Saigu's shoulder.
I went for a stroll on the beach some time ago and sensed a familiar... Though your power was weak, I was still able to find you. You were sitting in a tree. I overheard you telling yourself that you must be patient and avoid contact with humans.
Huh? When was that?
With your powers being so diminished, it was only natural that you didn't... You must have been blaming yourself all this time. You knew Kamai and the samurai.
At the time, I couldn't take on a human form like this. I had after they first met at the Mikawa Flower Festival, but after they said their final goodbyes, I could often hear Kamai sigh. Lady Yae, you are a well-known yokai. People meet, become friends. Is it really worthwhile?
Why not? Tell me, how did you feel when you played?
I felt happy.
But your rationality told you that it was... It turns out that there is still another piece to the story of Kamai.
What do you mean? The samurai and...
True, but the story doesn't end there. That samurai's name was Yanagibashi Takuto. It is believed that Takuto developed this style of swordsmanship while dueling with Kamai, who had also befriended. 500 years ago, Kamai and Tominaga fought side by side until their final moments, and the sword Tominaga wielded was passed down.
Oh.
We yokai are not like humans. Humans have too short a lifespan, and the day will inevitably... However, the bond formed by friendship, there's no reason to be upset by this. Time flies by in an instant, and life passes by like...
Hey, compadres!
Ito, what are you doing here?
He told me everything. And I even know who the ghost lady is now. Hey, you're that fox lady. Why are you here?
Please just...
Ah, right. All right, listen up. To celebrate the end of the Test of Courage event, we will be holding the... I gave it some real thought and realized that it might be kind of difficult for those little yokai to hold the festival on their own. That's right. Arataki, the one and only Ito, will be in charge of organizing...
Hooray for Ito!
Oh.
Can we really trust this guy?
Hey, what you trying to say? Besides, it won't just be me. Other people will help. Everyone's busy getting ready, and the festival will be up and running in no time.
You're the best, Ito!
And what would a festival be without me? I'll be sure to go have a look, too. It has been some time since I've attended a festival.
Paimon's gotta admit, Ito does... festival, delicious food. Count Paimon in!
All right, I'll join.
Looks like the festival has started! Let's go check it out! Ito and Goro! What are you two talking about?
Oh, I was just saying that if I had more time, I'd have built a massive fish.
Fishing? You know, when I lived on water...
Take it from an expert, using your hands to catch fish is no... Just the other day, I caught a fish so big that I didn't even know how to handle it.
That's an unusual
Huh? A big fish? How come you didn't
Huh? You wrote...
Oh, you bet I did. I wrote to the That's Life column and asked Miss Hina for advice.
Huh. What a coincidence. I do some part-time work there, and I...
You mean the letter was about dealing with a giant fish they caught? No. Could it be? Could it be that there's someone as good at fishing as I am? Oh, not on my watch. Hey, you all go enjoy the festival. I'm gonna get out. Just you wait. I'll be inviting you all to my fish feast.
Aw, the string snapped. Yoimiya, this is more difficult than it looks. Can you...
Don't worry. Let me show you a little trick. Just remember that your hand...
Yo-Yo Tsuri! Paimon see this game in some...
Do you want to give it a shot? Close one eye, aim care...
Oh, it looks kinda tricky. Paimon will let the traveler try.
But Yoimiya, if I close one eye, I won't be able to see anything.
This ramen is so good.
Yes.
You mean you don't get to eat ramen very often, Ayaka? But it's so delicious.
Oh, it's you. We'll need 2 more bowls of ramen. Food like ramen and hot pot tend to have a lot of oil and salt, so I don't get to eat them very often.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, now Paimon totally gets why Ayaka would put cake into hot pot.
Huh?
Oh,
Phew, I'm stuffed and feeling a little...
by the way, were there any special stalls at Yokai Fest?
Yes, but... Well, it's a long story.
Paimon can't believe you couldn't get a single water balloon. You've gotten... Tizuru managed to finally get one and gave it to Hitotsume Kozo.
He looked like he really wanted it.
But Paimon wanted one too.
All right, then I'll catch one.
Yay!
Come on now, this is way more expensive than usual. Even if it is a festival, you should...
Hey now, it costs money to run a stall.
Fair enough. How about 5 masks for 30%?
All right.
It's so hot. Feels like I'm being roasted here.
Don't get too close. It's better to keep...
I know. It's just so rare to see such a nice bond.
There are many beautiful things in the world. There's no need to be anxious.
I was surprised that you didn't even tell your sister. It seems she was quite frightened.
It would have been uninteresting had I told her what was going to happen. Besides, with her friends by her side, she wouldn't ever be too scared.
Everything went according to plan. People started to panic as...
Yes.
Hey, you two, stop laughing! It was scary!
Have you finished exploring the festival? Well then, are you...
Yeah, it's great!
The original Mikawa Flower Festival was much more lively, but even because it's always more fun to enjoy a...
Yes.
Well then, I'm guessing you have something you want to say to...
What what did you want to
Ah, you saw through me again.
It's not that I know everything. It's just that I've been...
Traveler, do you have a moment? All right, here will do. Actually, I was delighted when I first discovered I was a yokai derived from a pair of Hagoita who came into being in the middle of a I wanted to go to more festivals, but every evening as night began to set in, then I would wonder if I became friends with a human. As a result, I was convinced that I couldn't do it. I'm sorry that I spoke so strangely when we first met. I expected you to flee in terror. But when we met again, you acted like you had no trouble being around me. I knew you mistook me as one of the yokai, but instead of telling you the truth, I went and played a Kitsuyugen with you. Perhaps it's because I've always wanted to be like Kamai, or perhaps it was because I knew I didn't have much time left, and I didn't want to be alone. Anyway, thank you for taking the when we played a Kitsuyugen, Paimon at the time. However, you still came and found me. Meaning, let me think. I wish for you to remember, okay? I wish that every day of your journey ahead will be filled with joy, like a festival.